I think last week at Martinsville was a big tell of what this team's capable of. I mean, we overcame some really big obstacles last Sunday to get to that position to win that thing. So you know, this team's never given up. Daring Grubb's never given up. Our guys, everybody at Office Depot and Mobile One and Chevy. I mean, these guys they keep digging, and even when we thought we weren't good enough to do it, we find a way of digging deeper and getting the job done.
Speaking of that great win that you had last weekend, some fun words afterwards, kind of throwing things back at Carl there. You've talked some fun words all week. Does that gamesmanship continue on the track today?
Well, the good thing with Carl and I is, you know, we can talk all we want. When we get on the racetrack, we both race each other with respect. And, you know, the whole thing last week of telling him was that it's not going to be easy for him. I mean, nobody counted us as a factor going into this chase, and I wanted to make sure that he understood that we are. So I think he got that message loud and clear.
All right, Tony. You and Carl both have a great day. Thanks for talking with us. And he's going to talk to the man that's putting you up there, your crew chief, Daring Grubb.
Right.
Hey, Daring Grubb, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
Thank you.
Well, the boss man threw down on him last week, and you guys did a great job. But he can't do it by himself. Have you got your guys fired up to help him back it up on the track today?
Yeah, we do. Everybody's here for 334 laps and 48 points. That's the best we can do today, and we're going to try to get every bit of it.
All right, Daring. Well, good luck. Make good calls up there and keep Tony up front. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Daring Grubb. We will hear from him. Stewart's car, carrying one of our 8 high-definition onboard cameras, all 8 of our cameras with chase drivers or teams, including the top 7 in the standings, the car of the driver who is in 8th, but won't race today. Michael McDowell driving that car. 21 previous Cup races in Texas, 8 wins in those previous 21 races, represented by the guys carrying our onboard cameras today.
Good chance we can make number 9 here before this is over today.
Pretty good-looking group. Let's get some stories from pit road before the pace car rolls off in the green flag waves. We start with Dave Burns.
Alan, when you hear my voice today, I'll be talking about the guys on the pit road inside, the turn 4 into pit road, 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson, the always fast at 1.5 miles, Casey Kane, and Matt Kenseth. Matt said this week that this has been one of his most competitive chases ever, and yet last week, after a good finish was literally wrecked by Matt's own doing, he's 36 points from the top. He needs to not falter today if he wants to be this year's champion. Vince Welch?
Kevin Harvick has won the big races. He's won the Brickyard, the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, but never the Sprint Cup Series Championship. He sits 3rd in points, 21 points out. He says this is a make-or-break race for him here today. Crew Chief Gil Martin says he'll take chances on pit road to get Harvick in position to cut that deficit. Jamie Little?
Well, following his win last week in Martinsville, Tony Stewart has never been more confident. He told me in Countdown he has the edge over Carl Edwards today and in the championship. He brought back the same car he won with at Chicago, and it's 40. Dr. Jerry Punch?
Carl Edwards wants to win the Sprint Cup, but he also knows today is not a sprint race. It's a marathon here in Texas, 500 miles, and a marathon that can take its toll on man and machine, particularly engines. Carl's engine will turn 9,600 RPMs every lap he will let it. He's going to manage his RPMs and pick and choose his battles in order to win that championship today. Carl is ready, and so is his team. Listen in.
All right, guys. Let's have a little bit of fun today. Appreciate everybody's hard work. We'll just stay in it till the end for every point we can get, no matter what, just like we've done the last 7 weeks.
And we are underway in Texas. Greg Biffle, David Reagan lead the field off tricky turn 2 for the first time. Biffle leads lap 1. They'll be screaming it better than 190 miles an hour off into that corner.
Well, Biffle wasn't going to beat him high late in that first lap the way he drove off into turn 3 and took the lead from David Reagan. Yeah, they were side by side going into turn 3. Biffle didn't lift at all until he got to the middle of the corner.
Carl Edwards, 99, trying to slide underneath Paul Menard. He does so. Tony Stewart running 4th, just ahead of him. Edwards in 5th. Mention, because of the driver change after qualifying, Michael McDowell went to the rear of the field. 18 car. The 66 car that McDowell qualified, being driven by Josh Wise today, it went to the rear of the field. And David Gruneman in the double zero had to give up 6 starting spots. They had to change an engine in that car. He went to the back. That is just capping off what's been a difficult week for Ludeman, who was notified he'll not be back in that car next season earlier this week.
Comes Casey Kane, and you see Paul Menard really get loose on the exit of turn 4. These exits of turns 2 and 4 here are two of the most critical parts of this racetrack, where the banking goes away from you to 5 degrees of straightaway. Really difficult. Yeah, this track looks identical to Charlotte and Atlanta when you look at it, but the way they drive, I'm like Dale said, these banks they lay down quickly as you exit the corner, and so it makes the car drive a lot different here.
Couple of guys to keep an eye on today. The 9 car, Marcus Ambrose, and that 21, the red and white car, Trevor Bayne, the Daytona 500 winner. Those guys look really good in practice.
Yeah, I talked to Trevor Bayne this morning in the garage area. Congratulating him on his Nationwide Series win yesterday. He says, we got a fast car today, too.
Yeah, he did a great job winning there yesterday, and we'll have to go just back to Charlotte. Even though we talked about the difference in the racetrack, Trevor Bayne ran extremely well until they had a fueling issue with that 21 car. Look for him to be good here all day long.
Brad Keselowski high in that 2 car. Kevin Harvick starting to slide a little closer to the front. 29 car started back in 21st position. And look at how quickly Kevin Harvick has gained some ground in some of the opening laps.
Yeah, Harvick worked extremely hard yesterday in practice, ran a lot of laps. He was using the middle to top groove. I think that we were going to see a lot of that in the first portion of this race until we had cloud cover all day. The track temp isn't nearly as high as they were expecting it to be here.
I still expect to see Harvick moving up on the way he is moving up this corner. I expect to see him move up as the tires wear down. And talked to Jimmy Johnson's team, some of the guys in the garage this morning. I said, who looks good? They said, besides us, they said that 29 car who looks good.
Got a big run off turn 4 there. Harvick going to go by Keselowski with the 29 car up to 12th place.
If Harvick's going to make a move for this championship, it's going to have to start here today. He needs to be up towards the front in the top 3 at the end of 501 miles.
Yeah.
At the end of this, he carried the one.
Kevin Harvick swept into a wreck in the Talladega race a couple of weeks ago and dropped him from being virtually tied for the championship lead, neck and neck anyway up front, as we watch Jeff Gordon 24 and Juan Pablo Montoya in the 42 race here. And now Harvick has said he has to gain ground every week on Carl Edwards. He has to finish in front of him. He started behind him today. Gordon didn't start off toward the front of the pack. 24 car was back in 23rd place. And for Jeff, that is 17th. He's just picked up and working on 16th here on Kurt Busch in the 22.
Now, he was one of the better cars in happy hour we saw yesterday practice. So I expect to see him move up pretty quickly.
Yeah, he'd like to get something going here as we see Tony Stewart taking the third, or trying to take this third spot away from David Reagan. Tough pass to make down the bottom, but he's going to be able to power by him now down the back straightaway.
You heard how little time Tony Stewart was off the gas and transitioning that car from the back straightaway into the banking of turn 3.
Yeah, it's one of the fun and difficult parts at the same time of this racetrack. There's enough grip there. You have to be extremely aggressive driving the race car here. That can lead to mistakes, but from the driver's standpoint, if you've got a car that you can do that with, this place is a lot of fun.
Edwards looking to stay right on Stewart's back bumper. Watch the speeds on our telemetry.
Hey, put his hand out the window at 189 miles an hour. Say thank you. Oh, well, I chased this thing.
Yeah, you see a little bit of looseness with Carl's car right there.
He could get the minimum speed to the corner. Still in the 160 mile an hour range. See his front straightaway a little longer than the back stretch. See 195 miles an hour there.
That's some busy hands again. So, Tony Stewart up to 3rd, Carl Edwards in 4th, behind Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth. Biffle has led every lap so far, but we're just underway in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series AAA Texas 500.